Hi, AT from CNC at Home. I wanted to spend some time in LightBurn and show a few simple things that you can do. I had a member ask about how I created my power settings template. I can show that to you real quickly. I'll just open that up, hopefully if I can find it. And it's not in coasters. Let me back up here. Okay, here's one. Pretty straightforward. Let's just zoom in on that. All it is a rectangle or a square, and I've put some text in here. It says burn settings 1000 speed, so it's 1000 millimeters per minute. That's how I use this. Each one of these boxes is just a square that's filled and is on a different layer. If you see over on the right hand side here, you can see all these different layers that are set up for this. So for instance, this black layer is set to fill at 100% power. We look at the details. The speed is set at 1000. We're filling at 100% power. I'm doing a little bit of overscan, and the resolution isn't set real high. It's just 0.1 for the line interval, which works well for this type of testing. Then it doesn't matter what material I use. I can just put this down and I can see what happens at 1000 millimeters per minute at these different power settings. What I want to go through is just how to create this. It's pretty straightforward. We'll start with a square. So I click square, and then by holding my shift key, I create a perfect square. If I don't have the shift key, I can create rectangles. So I hold the shift key and just make a square. And then I will change its size. Let's just say 10 millimeters. Oops, don't need another square yet. Okay. So now that I have this one square, we'll just put it down close to the corner. And I'm going to use my create array option to create a whole grid of these. And I want to have 4 by 4. And I need my spacing to be a little bit better than that. That's a little far. How about just 2 millimeters? We'll do 2 millimeters spacing. Get this out of the way. And that looks pretty good. And I'm going to turn this new feature, create virtual array. I'm going to turn that off because a virtual array keeps all of these related to each other, so if I make a change to the original, it affects all of the other ones. So I'm going to turn that off for this and click OK. The next step will be to put these on their own layers. I'll leave this one on layer 0. This one I'll put onto layer 1. This one can be layer 2, and so forth. We'll just go through and set all these up. And the reason for putting these on the different layers is so I can have different burn parameters for each one of these squares. That allows me to set them, at the 100%, the 90%, etc. Okay. Now these last few layers were just set to line, so I'm going to go ahead and set those to fill. And then we can go through and get these all set up the way that we want for burning. I'm going to use a 90-degree angle on that. We have 1000 and 100. Those are the main parameters that I want to have set. I guess I can keep this open. I don't have to close it every time. So we've got 1000, we've got 90. Set that vertically. Okay. We've got 80%, 90, 70%. I just happen to be lucky that my layers are already set to the appropriate power settings. So we'll just continue on. Did I get all these 15, 16, okay. 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, 11, 1. So I must have done my grid differently. I guess I was thinking I did a 4x4, but it probably really was just a 4x3. So we can go ahead and get rid of those last few rows and just move these down. Just take their Y position, minus 10, minus 13. Nope. Well, minus 10. Looks about right. And it helps to have some text underneath these. I could put the text on top and subtract it out, and that might actually look kind of cool. So the way I would do that, let's get this down to its a more reasonable size. We'll do it at about 7 millimeters. So if we type out 100%, yeah, that's going to be too big. Maybe 3 millimeters. And we'll put this on the same layer. Put it on top, right in the center. And if we do a preview, interesting that it's already merged that in there. I would have expected that I would have needed to go through and merge these together. So now it is just one thing. The problem with doing this is when you get to the lighter burns, you won't see what the percentage is. So, as cool as that might be, let's back up and we'll do it this way. Where we just put this down below. We'll have to make it smaller. That's good enough. And I'll just duplicate that, slide it over. And the reason for that is then they're all on the same layer. We'll get this one kind of stuck in the middle and we'll move it down the same way, so it's kind of all the same here. Alright, so if I get both of these, right click, say duplicate, and I can slide those over and kind of center it up on the shape, just that one, and then I want to, there we go, get that all lined up, this. So what I'm doing is I selected the text, and then holding the shift key, I select my square, and then I just come up here and say I want to align this. So I get those in the same spot. Now I can come in and change the value. Here we go. And so we'll get this one set to 80. Get this one set to 70. Now I can grab all of these. I go over here to my select. And go here and just grab. If I drag to the right, it'll select all of those. If I drag to the left as I'm selecting, notice nothing gets selected. It's because I have to have the entire object inside of what I'm selecting for that to work. So if I do something like that, I get the whole thing. By dragging from the right, this is a feature within LightBurn. By dragging from the right, I only have to have part of something, and then I get them all. So here I can just say duplicate, move that down. Why didn't it do it? Did I miss something? Let's try that again. Grab all of these, say duplicate. Probably means I have something behind there now. So let's put these down here. And I'll just hit Shift and select all of these. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, we'll do those one at a time. So behind here somewhere, so if I drag this way, I should be able to, nope, we'll drag this way to the left, or from the left to the right. Didn't get anything. Oh, it's because I undid those. Oh, there they are. Okay. I knew they were hiding back there somewhere. So let's just get these set now to the appropriate value. Let's make sure that this is my 60% layer. It is. So I'm just making sure I've got everything organized here. So this will be 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, and this last one is just 1%. And if we select this layer, we can see that is our 1% layer. Alright, so I've got all of that in there. And then up on top, we'll want to have some text that says the burn speed. So burning at 1,000 millimeters per minute. And this text can be a little bit larger. That's a little bit too large. Let's try 3 millimeters. And we'll bring that over here. Okay. And then we can do a square, again holding the Shift key. We do a square that encompasses the whole thing. So I can't, I've gone off the bottom of my screen here. Alright, I don't like that. I'll just do this as a rectangle then, because I want it to fit like so. Okay, and we'll put that on its own layer. So we'll go to this layer, and this one we will make just a line layer. And for now I'm just going to have this burn at 100%. What I've done in the past on this particular layer is I've had it burn all the way through my material. So if I'm burning something that I can burn through, I can set that parameter to potentially burn multiple times and get burned through there. So I'm just going to look at all of my parameters, make sure I'm set correctly. So speed and percentage is mainly what I'm going to look at. I'm also going to check my cutting angle. Make sure all of these are set correctly. So there's one that's 45, that needs to be 90. Thought I went through and did all this already. Apparently. I didn't do something correctly. Maybe I undid. So on this one, I'm just saying I'm doing a line, number of passes, but I really wanted to burn through this. I know typically 4 or 5 will go through that 3 millimeter plywood, so I can just say 5. I'm not going to use that on this particular burn, so I'll show it, but I will actually set it to not output. But here's our basic burn. We hit Alt-P, or we come up here and hit our preview. And we see each one of them looks black. Let's go full screen. But when they burn, they won't necessarily burn that way. And they're each burning individually. I guess I'm going to do something, make a change here. So I want to get the text to burn separately from this black in here. So how do I do that? I think I can select all of this and then group that together. And then on the black layer, see if we switch that to groups together, see how that looks. Okay, kind of backwards of what I'm expecting, but that's what I wanted it to do. Okay, so it's doing the text separately. It's gonna burn this one first. Not quite sure why it's doing that. It's kind of funny. I could put it on its own layer, and that might be the smarter thing to do. Just to go through and go ahead and grab all of the text and put that on its own layer. I'll put that on layer 13. Oops. Oh, right, okay. Okay, so I hit Control. Nope, that. Ungroup all this stuff. I see what I did. I actually made these squares part of this. So we'll do this, and this will hold the Shift key while we're selecting. Make sure I select just the text, holding the Shift key, so it adds those to what I'm selecting. There we go. And then I'll group those back together and put those on layer 13. And then our layer 13 I've got some old naming on here. Okay. So instead of text, I'm going to call this border 13. We'll call text. We'll run this at 1,000. Actually, we can run this fast because I know text works pretty well. We'll run this at 5,000 at 100%. We don't need quite that much overlapping on the burn. Text. There we go. Got them up there. Let's set to 90. Just one pass. Okay. And then what I can do is I can move that layer all the way up to the top by having that on the top. Slide this up a little bit. Then that will be burned first because of how I have the laser parameter settings. So if we look at these optional settings, I have it first order by layer for the cutting and then order by priority. So now if we do our preview, we'll have all the text done first. Then we'll start with 100. Well, it doesn't matter the order that these go. It's kind of funny. Oh, we got all shifted around. Okay, not quite sure why that happened, but they did. So let's get these reordered. That back up there. Where's our 80? Get that one back up. 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, and then the one will move down. So there we go. So we've got our text, then our 100, 90, 80, 70, 60 all the way down, and then the last thing that's going to burn is the board, but we're actually not outputting that this time, so it won't burn that. Anyway, here's our test pattern. Once you have this one, you can go ahead and save it. The thing that you might want to do is then also come in here and change the text so that you can have this burn at 2,500 millimeters per minute as an example. And just by changing the text doesn't do anything. You still have to come over here to each one of the layers and then change each of the layers to the new burning speed. That's relatively easy to do. So now each of these is burning at, we can see it over here, we're burning at 2,500 millimeters per minute, and then we can save this one. So that you can have several of these all set to go. When you get a new type of material or a new color of material, then you can just run one of these to see where your sweet spot is. I don't like burning at 100% all the time. I like burning a little more in the 80 to 60, 50% range on the laser. So if I can get a nice dark color in here somewhere, then I like that. And then you can then adjust the speed to help get that. I don't mind burning a little bit slower all the time. There are times where I do run out of patience and I want it to burn more quickly, so I will sacrifice maybe some longevity of that laser by running it at closer to 100%. That's how you get these burn samples set up. It's a great tool just to have available. As we saw when I opened up my files that I have a few of these already set up, 1,000, 1,500, a 4,000, a 5,000. So I have some of these already configured, set up, ready to burn. So if I have something new, I can just try it. I don't have to build this every time. It's also not too difficult to build this, and as you saw, adjusting it's pretty straightforward as well. Hope you enjoyed this little quick LightBurn tutorial. Let me know if you'd like to see more LightBurn tutorials, and as always, enjoy doing your CNC at home projects. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more of this.